And right now we are 2 minutes away from the end of the trading day. Romaine Bostick here with Katie Greifeld, taking you through to that closing bell with a global simulcast. We're joined right now by Norah, Mulinda, and Kristine Aquino in today for Carol Massar and Tim Stenovic, taking a well-deserved short week here as we welcome our audiences across all of our Bloomberg platforms, our partnership with YouTube here, guys, on what's going to be another record-setting day for U.S. equities.
Another record day for U.S. equities. Really been seeing green across the screen. That's all Kristine and I have been talking about all day today as we're sitting in for Carol and Tim, who are out headed to the Screen Time conference here. But it's really tech stocks that are continuing to propel these indexes higher. Heading into this year, you know, there was a bit of uncertainty, and there still remains uncertainty here, but you are still seeing a sense of bullishness, dip buyers coming out into the market, and a lot of people pouring some money into AI stocks.
Yeah, absolutely, Norah. But of course, we can't forget about the Federal Reserve. And we did hear from them as well regarding their September meeting. A lot of focus on inflation risks. You know, in the actual meeting itself at Jerome Powell's press conference, a lot of focus then on the risks to the labor market. But seems like at this point, maybe officials pushing back a little bit on the other side of their mandate, talking about the potential upside to inflation and what they're potentially going to be looking at doing from here in terms of rates.
Yeah, absolutely. You have to wonder how much room they have to actually cut rates if, of course, inflation is pressured higher here. But at least for today, no one's really concerned about it. It's all about big tech, Romaine.
Yeah, I would like to forget about the Fed. Is that possible? They came out with minutes today, and of course they have some data coming next week that probably isn't going to come because of the government shutdown, and that basically leaves the market left to its own devices, at least until earnings season picks up. Here on this Wednesday afternoon, you are seeing green more or less across the screen. The S&P 500 decidedly in record territory, 67.53 and change as we wait for these numbers to settle, up about 39 points or 0.6%. The NASDAQ composite adding more than 200 points or 1% on the day, a 300-point gain for the NASDAQ 100, 1% on the day, both at record highs. It looks like the Dow Jones Industrial Average is going to close basically unchanged on the day, and the Russell 2000 participating in the action as well, a gain of about 26 points here on the day, 1%, and just about 4 points shy of its most recent record high.
And digging a bit deeper into where a lot of these stocks landed here, particularly in the S&P 500, we've got about 263 that settled up in the green, 237 down here, only 3 unchanged.
All right, it's circle time. Let's take a look at the sectors right now. More green.
Is this an osoboro, or what is it, osobuco?
Ouroboros. It's a snake that eats itself. Well, maybe it is what you're seeing today, at least when it comes to the tech sector. But that's what's outperforming. Tech up 1.5%.
Then what is osobuco? Is that something different?
I think that has to do with meat and like maybe eating the marrow out of a bone. But industrials also had a great day, Romaine. Your second best performing sector on the day. What didn't do too hot? Financials, that was your biggest loss leader, at least from a points basis. We know that big bank earnings kick off pretty soon. Consumer staples, energy, and real estate also falling a bit.
And we just heard from Betsy Graseck over at Morgan Stanley. She's actually pretty bullish about this earnings season for banks.
Yeah, big time.
Yeah, for big banks.
She told us to buckle up.
She did. I'm buckled.
Well,
What's next?
Let's take a look at some of the gainers that we saw in the S&P 500. A few of them to look at. AST Space Mobile. This is a company that really spends a lot of its time in space. It actually has a strong competition here with SpaceX, their Starlink there. So we did see shares climbing earlier for double-digit gains, but closing about 8% higher at the closing bell. This is after the company signed an agreement with Verizon here to provide direct-to-cellular connectivity when needed for customers starting next year. So we had William Blair saying that this is really a competitive deal here for Verizon, specifically over SpaceX's Starlink here. So one to definitely follow. But of course, as we've been talking so much about AI, we cannot stop talking about that story here. Shares of AMD also in focus, up 11% today. I mean, this has been a company that we've been talking about quite some time as you think about it with the likes of NVIDIA and a few of its other peers. But the news today, of course, NVIDIA agreeing to invest as much as $100 billion in OpenAI to fund a data center build out. So of course, that's really the broader scope here. But this OpenAI is striking a deal with NVIDIA rival AMD to deploy tens of billions of dollars worth of chips here. OpenAI is poised to become one of AMD's largest shareholders, really seeing a buoy to the stock here. And lastly, let's look at the beauty space. I'm looking at shares of e.l.f. Beauty right now. Shares ended about 3% higher at the closing bell. It actually got a price target lift at Morgan Stanley. The analyst over there is really pointing toward a very strong launch for its Rhode brand. It's Sephora. I don't know if you guys are familiar. That's Hailey Bieber. Her makeup brand is called Rhode. Apparently, they had a very strong launch at the Sephora stores here. So you are seeing a lift as Morgan Stanley is pushing the price target up to a street high.
We're actually well versed in makeup over
Okay,
here,
yeah.
How dare you?
Yeah.
We are.
All right, decliners, what's up?
Well, it's green and it's green, Katie, but there are a few stocks that fell today. One of them is Fair Isaac. You and I probably know that more commonly as FICO, and it's falling not because of news specific to FICO itself, but because of news from its competitor, Equifax, saying that it will offer its VantageScore 4.0 service to mortgage credit scores at $4.50 through the end of 2027. Remember, last week, FICO said that it will sell credit scores directly to mortgage resellers, and Equifax saying that its move is a direct response to what FICO is doing there. So it's a little bit of a tussle between credit score providers, a very interesting space there, but certainly FICO taking the brunt of that pain from that news today. Another decliner that I want to pay attention to today is, of course, Warner Brothers. Those shares down after we did get news, people familiar with saying that Paramount Skydance has discussed its interest in acquiring Warner Brothers Discovery with Legendary Entertainment and Apollo Global Management. Now, the talks seem to be related specifically to Legendary's investment in some key film franchises. Ever heard of Dune or Godzilla? So these are some of the assets that are potentially being discussed here. And the bottom line is this looks like this is going to be another delay to this potential acquisition. They were hoping to get this done before the Warner Brothers split in early 2026, but another roadblock in this process.
Have you actually seen Dune, Kristine?
I saw it in theaters.
Oh, really?
You liked it?
I mean, it's interesting. It's not my cup of tea necessarily.
So wouldn't watch it again?
No, I wouldn't watch it again. I may have fallen asleep in the middle of it.
Oh,
I actually did fall asleep in theaters during Dune 2, but that's because we went to a midnight showing, and, you know, that's a young man's game. But great movie.
Well, there you go.
Yeah. How about that bond market, though?
Yeah, how about that bond market? Well, not a whole lot. I mean, I don't know if you heard Katie Greifeld, but there was a tail on the most recent 10-year auction here. Actually, in all seriousness, though, you're not really seeing a whole lot of activity, a little bit of activity on the longer end of the curve, but that was mostly selling, pushing yields higher by about 2 basis points. A very, very modest bid on the long end of the curve with that 30-year yield just down less than a basis point. All right, guys, let's get to it. The most important news of the day right now. I got to catch a flight in a minute. Am I going to be able to get on it?
I mean, well, it depends on the airport you're going to, Romaine, because what Kristine and I have been looking at throughout the day, this news coming in that LaGuardia Airport flights are being temporarily halted. This due to a data outage. And it's just really interesting because throwback to, wasn't it Newark earlier this year that was experiencing some issues?
Yeah.
There's always some sort of issue here. It says flights into the airport were held at their origin until 4 p.m., while departures were delayed by as much as 45 minutes, which, of course, you know, not terrible, but I mean, if you're looking to catch your flight and you're in a pinch here, this is not great news for those who are trying to get through the airport, right, Kristine?
Have you been to the new LaGuardia yet? They've actually redesigned it. So it's actually, you know, if you are delayed, it's not like the end
of the world, right?
I mean, I was going to say, I was actually delayed for 6 hours there. It was not bad, you know? Yeah, because, you know, I was looking at the fountain. You can get cheesecake. You can get bagels.
Did you go to a lounge?
You can get drinks. I could have gone to a lounge, but, you know, we just hung out by the fountain. It's
and there you
cool.
go.
It's a great way to pass 6 hours of your time if you have to.
Certainly worse ways to spend 6 hours. Let's also circle back to one of the most read stories of the day. This about the Polymarket CEO. If you didn't know his name prior to this week, you probably learned about him.
I bet you he doesn't have to fly commercial.
No, his name is Shane Copland, and Bloomberg News crunched the numbers. Apparently, on the Bloomberg billionaires list, he is the youngest self-made billionaire. This comes after that ICE investment yesterday into Polymarket, $2 billion, valuing Polymarket itself.
You're talking about the Intercontinental Exchange, right?
Right,
Okay,
yeah, you're right. Yeah, people keep pointing that to me when I say
it's-
ICE. But anyway, ICE investing $2 billion in Polymarket, bringing its valuation to a whopping $8 billion, a stunning amount. But it's made Shane Copland a very wealthy man.
Absolutely. Here, one of the most read stories on the day here.